I don't remember recommending Bruce.
No. You're good. Ryko, thank you for the 4 months. Hey, you can have a seat. All right.
Oh, thank you.
So I oh my god. I think I was just telling Michael, for me, this sort of thing just makes me kind of lose faith in people. I think even further than that, like you know, just some of the shit we told you about yesterday with like the way that funds are moving, the conversations that we're entering into about like, yo, let's fucking take money from like the pit of like cash that the DOJ has and just start buying up everything. Like can you do it? Yeah, but there's certain amounts of like faith and trust that are put into things, right? That once you start breaking that, it's just like it's all gloves are off, right? Like and I don't know. It's am I making sense?
Just
what I'm trying to say?
because you can doesn't mean you should.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like reasonably, no one can keep an eye on transactions, right? The fact that we even did is all like I don't know. I will have a chat with Bruce to give an opportunity to let bygones be bygones, and I think it's going to be pretty. I think it's going to be pretty reasonable. Of the last 2 months, give back 50%, right? Actually, 70%. You know, pocket $2 million, give us the rest. If he's unable to do so, I mean, then I'll kind of go from there. But it's going to be a slow and very long and painful hurt.
Do you still want me to speak with him or wait until?
No, I think I need to speak with him, given what Michael's found.
Okay.
So that like it's sort of like it's very direct. So.
No, I think that's fair.
So in terms of the court's plan, I think for now, let's recircle next Saturday as to whether we are prepared to reopen it. But I think right now it's in need of a complete new administrative, like, reshuffle. While I think your son is a good one, I think we need 2 other candidates as well, so that we are being fair, right?
I agree.
Yes.
And I think we should, if you want me to be honest, I want to see if Rissa's interested. I like your son. Rissa's good too. And I know she wants a part of the cabinet. And I imagine Rissa would be able to work with your son very well.
I'm going to be completely honest. Helios isn't exactly interested in mechanics and parts and whatnot. Do I think?
But he likes pricing.
He'd be a good get for Court Center in general, but in terms of actually managing and interacting with that crew, it's probably the sect of San Andreas he has the least exposure to.
I think
Could he do it? Yes. Right.
I think he'd be good at pricing.
Yeah.
I think Rissa would be very good at organizing and socializing. Look at the Gang Olympics.
And I think we need more than just one person. I think we need a few people who are good in different aspects and different time zones that are able to be around as well.
I agree. But to sort of mildly count, like, I agree, but I in terms of like executive decision making.
Oh, right. Not a lot of people with executive decision making.
Yeah. Because I think once we get those, like whoever, the one or the two that we put in that position, we can then like sort of let them hire as needed. so to speak. Right? I'm actually very happy with that. You know, I'm slightly reneging. I think Rissa is the first person we speak with. She's already hyper connected with us. She's running events. She's already been interested in the cabinet. She's already working very well with Junior. I think if the fit already happens, and most of the evaluation's already sorted, if she's willing to take the position.
Yeah.
And pair her with your son, who probably will be perfect when it comes to pricing.
I think that's a good plan, honestly.
Okay. I know I'm still considering we do a pause, by the way, because in my mind, that relaunch should be, when I say relaunch, I think we do it right in that we need effectively documentation and everyone on the staff knowing exactly what's going on before we open back up. So effectively what we're doing is we're kind of pulling out the cobwebs, making shit's like really organized. So when we say go again, we're not immediately dealing with problems. You know what I mean?
It will probably be a 2-week pause because I won't be here next weekend.
I think
Unless
we could.
Okay.
Sorry,
perfect.
I think we could probably which might be actually good because it would put said individuals under the test. Because
perfect. I can put together some SOPs for courts operating.
I love it. I love that. Let me see if Rissa's around right now. Have you met Rissa, Jason?
Briefly, is it the noodle stall she works at or Big Dog? I'm not sure which one she works at.
She is, I'm not sure if she works a stall, to be honest.
Because I always get her hot thighs.
Yes, you're right. Yes.
Yes. And I've met her in passing a few times, and she's always been very nice.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, shit. I think we have a pretty good game plan. I'm very happy with this. Oh, Bruce is around. Do we want to collectively chat with him?
I've got like 5 minutes.
Okay.
I can be around for the chat.
Okay. Dark, thank you for the 6 months.
Also, I've been working with Junior to try to plan events for Court Center as well to keep it popping up there.
Good.
Beautiful. Yeah.
So I will let him know we're doing a little pause.
It's not picking up. You mentioned, you asked the question, should you be, what do you call it? Continue working on the, like the interior. Let me recommend something. I think the guy, I understand he's new. I would question, is he going to get that done quick enough? It's very slow moving.
I think he has a lot of stuff built into the walls that we might need to just hammer in.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'd say go full. I think we relaunch with Rissa when that's ready. And do you think we could get an ETA when it's done? Because I think that's the best way to do it. Hammer out SOPs, hammer that out, do a full fucking restart of it.
Perfect. I know he's around more next storm. I will reach out to him and let him know we weren't in a rush, but now we kind of want to get it reopened and get him to give me an ETA and to figure out what all needs to be hammered in. I cannot see into the walls, just so you know, to see what has actually been done there.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think that would be good. to sort out. Because like we can't. If we can get something going within the week, I think that'd be really good. You know what I mean? Because even if he, because man, a relaunch of Quartz with a set plan would be fucking amazing, right? Because my general idea is this: we have to speak with the intern as well. If we can have a way for businesses to effectively function out of the Quartz Center, right? I can even see if I can get us a garage, right? So people can maybe even put their shit inside of it. But the idea being that if you are selling at the Quartz Center, we'll pay for the 30%. Like, let's say items 100%, they sell it for $70K and just bill us $30,000, right? Just sell at the Quartz Center in one of those shops, right? With your business. And man, that's going to really make commerce pop, I think. Can we do that? Can we do that today? Did he add? Didn't the intern add vendor accounts?
He did. Yeah.
How does that work, Michael? Do you know?
I don't. That was something that was still being, I think, developed when I was writing that handbook. So I haven't really done a deep dive into it. I can reach out or I can play around.
Yeah, I think we should take a look at that because I'm gonna see if I can reach out to someone and see if we can like plop a garage too, right? Plop a garage at the Quartz Center. I'm gonna see if I can get that done as well, like as a backup, right? So like, let's say you are selling shit, we'll probably park up a van full of shit over there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As like,
Yeah, and if they have a physical inventory that they're trying to keep at Quartz Center, having a place to store it would help them from being robbed.
You know, if they're gonna plop in a garage, if they accidentally drop one at the end of the dock out here, that wouldn't hurt too. You know, throw that out there.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm with that.
The boat dock, you know what I mean?
I second.
All right. Okay. All right. Fantastic. Anything else we want to chat about?
A lot of changes. Well, I guess a lot of charges have been flagged in that one report for things we want to look at. I think we should go through that, I don't know, sometime this weekend or maybe Monday if you have the time. No, I'm good. The only other thing is that Opal VAF amendment, and I know you said you're not touching that. You just want me to let her know that we're not changing it, or what's the score here?
The what?
Opal wants to amend the VAF legislation.
Oh,
to make it
apparently they
legal.
talked to Flippy and shit. The VAF legislation apparently falls off now.
No. This is about the LSPD stripping the aftermarket parts before giving the vehicles to the DOJ.
Yeah, but who cares? People take it out already.
That's
don't they?
Yeah. So she wants it legislated, but I'm like, can't that just be like an SOP where the DOJ says you have the authority to return the vehicle to factory condition before giving it to us?
DOJ still doesn't know what precedence and case law is and why it had to be explained why they can't just be sending counties and police departments money just upon request.
So that makes me want to legislate this then, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I think hers is a little bit overcooked and too specific.
I don't think so, brother.
Really?
Wait, the one that she gave you is the one that Turner and Flippy worked on.
But like, do we really need to list out engines, tires, turbos? Can't we just say aftermarket parts?
Brother. We
can't be this fucked.
Yes,
no, we can't.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Like, this is kind of why, like, I think we had that back and forth a while back. Is like, no, people. Man, I don't know what word to use without being a dick. People aren't very intelligent.
Oh.
Yeah. intelligence levels are way lower than they used to be. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
I don't know. What are you supposed to like? Obviously, yes. The problem is that derivation of. I don't think like. Listen, we used to have like Crane. We used to have Coop. We used to have a lot of like very legal-minded, extremely intelligent individuals that used to like be the head of the Department of Justice, right?
Yeah.
And they had the something that's a very rare trait nowadays, right? Which is being able to really deep dive in the grander picture and have those conversations. We now live in an environment where speaking is yapping, and if you're not shooting, you're losing. You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying? Like so my point there being is like this is not a attack on the sitting justices. It's that they don't have a Crane. They don't have a Coop. They don't have, and some of these names I know they probably escape you, but individuals that when these things happen, they have that person to like keep them in line, keep them in check, have them understand the broader implications, right?
Yeah. So what we're left with then is that our legislation is more an instruction manual than it is law. That's the part that I don't like, but I understand what you're saying and why it needs to be that way.
It's the same reason why the traffic legislation needed to be further expanded on. It needs to be simple but instructive, yes.
Yeah.
Where law tends to be in New York tends to be a bit more. Yes, I don't know. Yeah, there's like that. It doesn't need to be verbose, but it needs to be very pointed.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, I got to step out for.
So if we say like assault is illegal, yes, we need to expand on what assault is and what it includes, because otherwise, people will be like, "Oh well, he didn't punch me. He hit me with a car," right? And it's like that's assault, but you have to like, yeah. Anyways,
yeah, and I think,
and this is not to say that judges wouldn't understand it, right? Either it's not even that that's necessarily the case. It's that we also don't want the law to be so. The PD is like fucking the worst it's ever been, right? In terms of understanding shit. So if it's not like very just in their face is what we need to do. The only time they're going to get clarity is by the time they get to court. And who suffers? The rest of the PD that had to deal with the bozo that didn't understand what assault was in this example, and the person that has to now wait for a 4-hour fucking court case, right?
Yeah.
So,
I get it.
Yeah.
I got pulled over about a week ago, maybe not quite a whole week ago. And I was like, okay, if the speed limit in the city is 55 and the speed limit on the highway is 90, what's the speed limit on the highway in the city? Should be 90. And I was told 95. And I'm
no, it's
no. The cop told me 95. And I literally gave them the answer. And I'm like, you're wrong. And then he's like, no, I'm right. And then he had to look it up and realize I was right.
Wait, I'm confused. Is it not 95?
No, it's 90. On all the highways are 90.
Oh, you meant instead of 95. Okay, I thought you were.
Yeah.
I think you meant like 55
No, the
versus.
officer told me it was 95, and I had to tell him it was 90, and then he's like, no, it's 95. And he looked it up. He's like, oh, you're right.
It's funny you mentioned that. Yesterday, I got pulled over by somebody, and they're like, you're speeding. I'm like, no, I'm not. And she's like, yeah, you're going like 65. And I'm like, I'm on a county road. She's like, oh. It's right?
Yeah.
Like, and this isn't, like, once again, this isn't me saying fuck that person, but more like pointing at, like, people are hyper clueless.
Yeah.
Like, for me to imagine that law enforcement doesn't even know their speed limits is crazy, right? That means they're not actively doing traffic stops. And if they're not doing that, like, hello?
Yeah.
Right?
Did we want to go over the courts audit, or?
Yeah. Yo, let's do that.
Okay.
I got to run.
Yeah.
Are you fine going?
Yeah,
Yes.
run,
Yes.
Easy. Okay. I will catch up with you guys later.
Can you give me text me a link?
Yes. There you go. Or did you want it emailed?
No, this works. Makes it a little bit easier for me. Okay. All right. I am ready.
Okay. So this first one is like the total numbers that came in and out of Quartz Center. The numbers are a little off because the website does not export the LSPD and other discounts like employee discounts or the discounts we were doing because of the parts being a bit more rusty. So that is kind of what took me so long, was trying to figure out why there were some discrepancies between the sales and the amount that was going into accounts, and it was all the discounts.
Yep.
The MOPEC discounts, however, are included in that number just because we would cancel the orders and then put them in for the exact amount that was being purchased for. We've mentioned car parts that haven't sold most likely have rusted between January and now. There are items such as cabinets and home goods that are still in inventory that we have purchased that just haven't sold yet.
Yeah.
And this also, it goes all the way from January all the way through, I think it's like not quite the end of April. It's like the 28th of April. So a good 4 months.
Yeah.
We've discussed the payroll quite a bit. I spoke to Charles. He is going to refund the $1 million. I haven't checked the bank to see if that has happened, but if not, I'll get in touch with him.
Beautiful.
And then also, Martha didn't put in any hours for any of the time she was working for Quartz Center, so I'm going to touch base with her, get her to enter hours, even if it's one lump sum, and make sure she is paid.
Beautiful. Yep.
And then the subsidy program is all the money from the city account number 10 that has been sent to any of the Quartz accounts. In January, you did send my account 10 million instead of 1 million, and 8 million was sent back a couple days later, about a week later. So that's why you see that one day in the negative. That is the money being sent back.
Okay.
And then it has also been going down, the amount that you've been having to send to the subsidy accounts. January was high because that was our startup month. We just needed those extra funds. And then it has been decreasing in April because of all the car parts being purchased. Did have that little extra spike.
So what is subsidy per month? Like, what does that entail?
That is everything sent to the front, or sorry, everything sent from the city account number 10 to any of the Quartz accounts.
Oh,
so it has been going
very
down,
good.
Other than the car parts in April made that little spike in April.
Understandable. Okay. Oh shit.
And then I just added
Bruce.
all the items.
Yes, sir.
Come up to the, you know, the fishing sales place.
Yep.
All right. I'll see you in a bit.
Wait, grapeseed?
Yes, in grapeseed.
Okay.
All right. See you in a bit. Bye.
Bye.
And then those last couple pages are just everything that has been bought and sold. and the amount of each for those items.
Okay. Wow, we've been selling a lot of shit. So there have been like decent sales when shit was actually going, right?
Yes.
Man, I fucking miss Frankie.
I do too.
Oh man, Frankie was so good. Okay. This is.
These were the questions I remember you asking. Kind of like these are the things that you wanted to see. If there's something that's missing, or that you would like added or changed, I can do all of that as well.
I think this tells us, like, in the grand scheme of things, when I look at this, what it tells me is as follows. I think in terms of, at the end of the day, loss is a part of the equation, right? It's the only way to incentivize people communing, right? Like communicating and working together. And I think what this shows is, there's just a couple things that we need to tighten up. I think if we get things operating, you know, on, you know, around this upcoming tsunami, and really get the right person to keep that place active, and then kind of do a handoff around when you're around, I think things will be in a significantly better spot than they currently are.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Obviously, we have a insane challenge in front of us, given we're pretty much getting people to try to participate in activities around the clock, right? And maybe we need to consider instead opening, like, I think we should not necessarily throw away the notion that maybe we should only be operating at certain hours, maybe like 2 times a week pre-tsunami, 2 times post-tsunami, you know, something like that. So it doesn't require being trapped. Like any one person isn't trapped at the court center for extended periods of time. Because I will say that's one of the major differences of before and today, right? Is, can we operate 24/7? Not really, right?
No.
We just don't have the tools, right? However, if it instead is at set times scheduled, like even twice a week at a certain time, 3 times a week, and that's where sellers and buyers are not only getting discounts, but getting it's going to force everyone to be like, oh, fuck, we need to go over there, right? Fucking fire sales. And I think that's maybe some of the conversation that we should start entertaining this coming week.
Awesome. And there's nothing saying that somebody who wants to use the rooms only has to use it during open hours.
Agreed.
If somebody wants to use it midweek when we're not typically open, awesome. And I would be willing to allow that as well.
Easy. Okay. Awesome. Bruce is going to be outside. Is there anything else you want to chat about?
No, I don't think so. I just wanted to make sure that report is what you wanted or needed.
Yeah.
That way I have kind of a template going forward.
Easy. I think that is perfect.
And then how often would you like them? How often do you want me to go through all the accounts?
Let's say like a monthly executive summary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Or maybe like if it's easy, every 2 weeks wouldn't be bad either. Maybe for now, just so we have, it might make it easier to gauge how we're doing in this short term, right? since we're probably going to need a closer hand on things.
Okay. I will say, I will do what I can. I'll have to FOIA the bank account. So as long as that's not an issue, I can do it bi-weekly or monthly.
Okay.